The Wizard of Oz is a familiar story to most, of a girl trying to find her way home, brick by brick, on a journey through the wonderful land of Oz. The heroine of the story, Dorothy, is in some way like a first-year engineering student. She can be anyone, regardless of gender or ethnicity, who has the determination to pursue this journey. Though few, let's face it, no engineering students are facing evil talking trees, green-skinned wicked witches, or dangerous poppy fields. They are certain to face obstacles in their path. But every engineer has to be willing to put one foot in front of the other on his or her own
yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
But before Dorothy even begins her journey, she meets the Munchkins. These younger-looking characters represent a childlike quality that's similar to our youth in elementary and secondary education. The journey toward engineering doesn't necessarily begin when one enters a collegiate setting. There are many programs available that allow these youth to engage in engineering activities prior to college. From Munchkins to Mentor, enter Glenda, the Good Witch of the North. Wise and generous, Glenda guides our young ingenue on her path, gifting her with the necessary red slippers and peaceful encouragement. Never doing for Dorothy, but always doing with Dorothy. Glenda is the perfect example of the school counselor, professor, senior student, and eventual mentor. Red glittery slippers on her feet and more trepidation than confidence, Dorothy starts out on the daunting path to the wizard alone, except for her faithful fuzzy companion Toto, until she meets the Scarecrow, lamenting his lack of a brain. Being a first-year engineering student can sometimes make your brain feel a little muddled, or absent, too. But lest you be scared and waste your time in lamenting, remember this. The first few years in engineering education are about obtaining essential foundational knowledge that allows you to think like an engineer and form your own personal engineering identity. But what exactly is this knowledge? Why, to add to the traditional foundation in mathematics and science, language and communication skills, design, critical thinking, creativity, ingenuity, business leadership, and flexibility. In the past, the use of chalk and talk pedagogies was the main method for inoculating the amateur engineering student, but these are being replaced as hands-on activities and new technologies for classroom teaching are integrated into the learning experience. But knowledge isn't everything. You have to be able to apply your knowledge for the greater good. Dorothy may not have built bridges or ended world hunger, but in her brief journey through Oz, she managed to serve her brainless, heartless, courageless friends, get rid of not one, but two wicked witches, and dispel the great myth of the wizard, all at the same time. And she couldn't have done it without her oddly shiny companion, the Tin Man, who taught her the value of having a heart. Like the Tin Man, the modern engineering student must have noble intentions. There are many instances in which the engineer is called on to enhance the quality of life for people around the world. Among the grand challenges that will face the upcoming generation of engineers are water shortages, aging infrastructure, famine, and environmental issues. These are not problems for the faint of heart. They are also certainly not for the cowardly. Cute though he may be, the Cowardly Lion at first lacked the bravado necessary to face the scary, scary world. But he rose to the occasion when he was most needed. The engineer, too, needs the healthy dose of courage now and then to face the real world through experiences such as internships, co-ops, and real-life design. Instead of thinking, will I fail? The brave engineering soul asks, how will I succeed? And it is not always easy. Along the way, there are ethical quabbles, which call for courage of a different sense. Courage to stand up for what you believe. From seeing another student cheating on a test to calling out a contractor for using unsafe materials just because they're cheaper. Daring to stand up for one's ethics is not just the stuff of the Wizard of Oz. What is your Emerald City goal at the end of your yellow brick road? Is it government work, industry, or even continuing on in academia? And what will you face on the way there? Who will be there with you as you go? In the end, though, like in The Wizard of Oz, you will find that the journey through engineering education is about finding oneself, for what you need is already a part of you.
You don't need to be helped any longer. You've always had the power to go back to Kansas.
I have.
Then why didn't you tell her before?
Because she wouldn't have believed me. She had to learn it for herself.
You can achieve success by being educated, knowing right from wrong, and applying yourself in order to help meet the daunting task of the grand challenges that await the future generation of engineers. There's no place like home, and there's no person like you for engineering.